Hello everybody and welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to talk about the difference between the words no and not. Okay, a lot of people have asked me this, so I'm going to give you some examples when to use the word no and some examples for when to use the word not. Okay, I know it might seem a little confusing at first, but I promise once you know the basic rules, it's really not complicated. All right, so here we go. Okay, the first case, we're going to start with no. All right, so the first case when you want to use the word no is in a response, in an answer. Okay, so for example, are you going out tonight? No, I'm not. Or no, I'm not going out tonight. Okay, did you get my message? No, I didn't get your message. Okay, did you do what I asked you to do? No, I'm sorry, I didn't. Okay, these are classic examples of when to use the word no in a response. Okay, and that's probably the most common time when you hear the word no. The second time you use the word no instead of the word not is when you are using it before a noun, okay? Remember, a noun is a person, place, or thing, okay? So before a person, place, or thing, all right? So, for example, there is no place for us to go tonight, okay? We don't know where to go. There's no place to go, okay? There are no stores open today, okay? It's Sunday, there are no stores open. Another example you can use it is if there is no food in the refrigerator, okay? You open up the refrigerator, hey, there's no food in here, okay? So you can also use it when you are talking about a noun with an adjective, okay? So there is no strong candidate in the presidential election, for example. So you could also use the word no before a noun, but with an adjective between the word no and the noun. Okay, so for example, there is no strong argument in this case. All right, let's say if you're in court, there's no strong argument here. Okay, another time you can use it is if you are talking about there are no good-looking men or women here. Okay? Good looking, meaning beautiful or handsome, okay? So there are no beautiful women here, there are no handsome men here, okay? You use it before the adjective, okay? And then the adjective will precede the noun, okay? So the adjective comes before the noun. Now there is one exception. You do not use the word no before any of the following words. Any, many, or much, or enough, okay? Do not use the word no before those words, okay? In those cases, you would use the word not. So, for example, instead of saying, there is no much to do here, you don't say that. You say, there is not much to do here. Okay, so you just saw how you use the word not before the words any, many, much, or enough. Okay, I'll give you one more example because this is one of the main uses of the word not. Okay, but for example, if you want to use the word not with the word enough, you could say something like what I personally like to say is, there is not enough time in the day, okay? It's very little time. It's not enough, okay? I would like to have more time in the day, okay? Not enough. Another time when you use the word not instead of the word no is before a noun that has an article, okay? Hopefully you know what an article is. An article is either the word a, an, or the. Okay, so now, if you are using the word not, then it would come before the, an, or a. Okay, so for example, this is not the scene of the crime. Okay? You don't say, this is no the scene of the crime. Okay? This is not the scene of the crime. This is not the idea that I had in mind. Okay? You have either the word the, a, or an in between the word not and the now. Okay, now finally, one of the biggest uses of the word not, pay attention because it's very important, is to make a verb negative. You don't use the word no to make a verb negative, okay? You use the word not, okay? So for example, I do not know, okay? Or you could say something like, I am not going, okay? I don't like it, okay? You don't see it, okay? We don't live here, okay? Remember, those contractions, don't, okay? That is for the word not. That's turning the word do and not into the word don't, okay? So that's using the word not there, okay? We don't know or we do not know. Anytime that you are using it to make a verb negative, you use the word not. Okay, so I hope this video has been helpful to you. Keep scrolling down for the activities. You'll see a lot more examples, notes, and worksheets that you can print out, and of course a little quiz at the end to make sure that you completely understand. All right, and I'll see you in the next lesson.